Welcome to WNL Sports Weekly. I'm Jeremy Franklin. This week we'll speak with field hockey coach Gina Wills, women's cross country captain Rachel Steffen, and women's soccer captain Kelsey Jervis. But first, a quick look back at the weekend in Washington in the athletics. Men's soccer remained unbeaten with a 4-0 victory over Capital. Volleyball ran its record to 11-1 with straight set wins over Guilford, Emory and Henry, and Brevard. The football team came away victorious on its first ever trip to the West Coast, beating Claremont Mudscripts 24-14 in California. Women's soccer tied York 0-0 and beat Averett 6-0, while women's cross country placed 8th at the Virginia Tech Alumni Invitational. Women's golf came in third out of 14 teams at the Division III preview in Florida, and field hockey picked up a pair of home victories, beating Elizabethtown 1-0 in overtime and then edging Juniata 2-1. With me now is field hockey coach Gina Wills. Gina, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Those two victories over E-Town and Juniata came in very different fashion. How were the Generals able to pull out both of those games?
For us, we've focused all year about playing consistently for 70 minutes and working to put together a full game. And in both of those games, we were able to play from start to finish and come out on top. And we've really been focusing in the last week, not so much on our play in the attacking or defending end, but really between the 25s and making sure that we're creating successful play in between. And I think we were able to do that over the weekend and then come out on top.
The Generals lost several key contributors from last year's team, especially on the offensive end. How is the attack coming along so far this fall?
We're a young team this year, especially on offense, losing leading scorers and also people who were creating assists for us, and then also on our set pieces with our penalty corner unit. So for us, it's really been a learning experience all along and figuring out how to work together. What I was proud of the team over the weekend is that aside from the stroke that we were awarded, that we scored on, both of our goals were assisted goals. So I think what we've been able to do on offense is just really build an attack and work together and move off the ball to create those opportunities. And for us, it's just been learning how to create those opportunities for ourselves, where last year we had some players that knew how to finish. And so we've been working on finishing in those pieces, but also our movement off of the ball to create those assisted goal opportunities.
You bolstered the team's non-conference schedule this fall. The Generals are currently 3-3 against some tough opponents. You have two nationally ranked foes this week in Mary Washington and Christopher Newport. But how has the team responded so far to all of these challenges?
I think for us, we've gotten better with every game and with the competition. And that was really a goal for us this season. With what we set out with the schedule is to prepare us for ODAC play later in the year. So we wanted to play tough teams that were going to help us learn a lot about ourselves early on, and challenge us both offensively and defensively. So it's allowed us to see where our strengths are as a team. It's also helped point out some weaknesses that we might have and some areas that we can improve upon as the season grows. And so I've been really proud of the team and the way that they've responded. We've been really resilient as we've faced a lot of hard competition throughout the season. And then also we've been in a lot of different situations as well. We've played some overtime games. We had a game that went to a shootout. So that's really prepared the team for what's to come in the second half of the season. And they've been, very resilient and worked hard every day at practice. And we're continuing to build on what we've learned game by game.
ODAC play begins for the Generals next Wednesday against Lynchburg. What are your expectations for the conference this season?
The exciting thing about the ODAC the last couple of years, it's really been anyone's tournament at the end. We have teams that are competing for that first place spot going into the last week of the season, and then once we get into the tournament, it's really starting over. All the teams that are in the ODAC tournament are competitive with each other. So it's all the teams in the conference, following along and seeing how they've been doing this year. They've been competitive as well. We have Lynchburg is always a really tough opponent for us, and it's exciting to get to play them in the first game, and a really great opportunity to face one of the teams that is traditionally in the top group of the conference early on in the season. And it's a good benchmark for us after playing that tough out-of-conference schedule to see them early on in the conference and then help prepare us as we go forward. But it's really just once we get into ODAC play, we continue with that mindset of just one game at a time and being the best that we can on that day.
Gina, thanks for joining us. Best of luck throughout the season.
Thank you.
Joining me in the studio is Rachel Steffen, senior cross-country captain from Coronado, California. Rachel, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jeremy.
Give us a scouting report on what's been happening in the preseason and the early season meets for WNL.
Well, we have 21 super talented women on the team this year, which is great. We've had 2 meets so far. We've been kind of pretty conservative in our racing strategy for those meets, so nobody's really seen our full potential yet. Even though we've been running pretty conservatively in those meets, both Julia Moody and Katie Burrup have run under 24, which is awesome. And then we have Kirsten McMichael's another one to look out for. She has been working her butt off the last 3 years, and we're finally starting to see really that is paying off for her. So she'll be contributing huge to the team this year.
How are you approaching your second year as one of the team's captains, especially with so many first years on the roster?
Well, all of our returners this year kind of came into the season with this renewed determination to qualify for the national meet this year. And I think as my job as captain is kind of with so many freshmen to kind of explain to them what our goals are and the discipline and sacrifices it's going to take to get there, and making that clear to all of them. And that was just met with excitement and passion and such good attitudes. So I think just kind of helping be a guide for the team is all I really need to do, because they've got the determination and passion already.
The schedule starts to pick up soon. You go to Shenandoah this weekend. You've got meets at Dickinson and Rowan coming up. What are the team's objectives over the next few weeks?
The next few weeks are really just about training, getting some races under our belt. No times or places really matter until we get to the ODAC and regional meets this year. So just kind of keep working hard and focusing on what we're there to do each day.
The Generals have been on the verge of qualifying for the national meet over the past couple of seasons. You were third at the regional in 2015 and fourth last year. Have those close calls been a big motivator for the team in 2017?
Oh, absolutely. We keep looking back on those years, and we just feel like we've been on the verge of greatness for so long. And it just keeps slipping through our fingers. We've been plagued with injuries over the last couple seasons, and I think we're here. We have more depth than the program's ever seen before. And with all these amazing first years, there's just so much talent on the team. We're really ready to put in the work and make the sacrifices it takes to finally qualify for nationals.
Rachel, thanks for joining us. Best of luck this season.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Here with me now is Kelsey Jervis, senior soccer captain from Charlotte. Kelsey, welcome to the show.
Great to be here.
There have been some ups and downs for WNL through the first 5 matches of the season. What have you learned about the team so far?
So far, I've learned that we have great resilience. We, if things don't necessarily go our way in one game, we have the ability to figure out what's wrong and fix it immediately the next day. As we did in Ohio, we look like a completely different team from our game on Saturday to our game on Sunday, and I think this is going to be really important moving forward, being able to figure out what's wrong and how to fix it and how to do it fast.
Several of your first-year players are already contributing on the field. What has the rookie class brought to the program?
Yeah, our rookie class has brought a lot to our program so far. They bring great energy to practice every day, which is great. As you've said, they bring a lot of great contribution onto the field already, which is exciting so early in the season, and we even had some rookie goals this weekend, which is exciting. So I think we have great expectations for them for this season.
The Generals are very young, very inexperienced at the goalkeeper position. How does that impact the way that you approach your role as one of the defenders?
I really wouldn't say it affects our defensive unit that much. Our job is to protect the goalie no matter who's in there, to limit the number of shots on goal and to limit the crosses into the box. So whether it's a freshman or a senior, it doesn't really matter. Our job is our job. Despite that, I think Leanna's had a great season so far, and I think it's exciting that she's only a sophomore and has so much time left to her experience here.
You open up the ODAC schedule against Randolph-Macon this weekend. Based on the preseason coaches poll, most of your tough league games are in the month of October. With that in mind, how important is it to get off to a good start in conference play?
Yeah, it's pretty important. We want to do well in our first games early on and get some good results. However, this doesn't really affect how we approach these games. No matter the level of competition, we want to get better and work hard in every game, every practice, and this doesn't matter what the level of play at all. So we go in with the mentality of the next game is the most important. So that's the game we're focused on, and we think that this will lead us to a great season.
Kelsey, thanks for joining us. Best of luck throughout the fall.
Thank you.
It's time now for a look at the upcoming weekend. On Saturday, the cross-country teams head to Shenandoah for the Hornet Harrier meet. Field hockey travels across the state to take on 17th-ranked Christopher Newport. Men's soccer visits Randolph-Macon, while women's soccer will play host to the Yellow Jackets at Watt Field. Volleyball travels to Mary Washington, and the riding team will open the season at Randolph. Also this weekend, women's tennis returns to Mary Washington for the ITA Southeast Region Championships, and men's golf competes in the NCAA Fall Preview in Greensboro. For WNL Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.